Hello people, welcome to my channel. If you're coming across my channel for the very first time, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing. To my returning subscribers, you guys amazing. Thank you for your support and I hope we are all doing fine. So this is the second part of this conversation of a black guy who came on TikTok to post about ladies that they should settle for anything. In short, they have no choice. So according to him, not all men are perfect. There are few who are perfect. So whoever or whatever you are dating, in short, whoever you are dating, you should settle for him. So this video received a lot of reaction. That's why I decided to divide it into two. The first one was for men, and this one, the second one, is for women.
Some of y'all ladies
so
don't have
I
to
will
settle.
leave
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen,
the link in the description box for
it ain't even enough of
a
us
reaction from
around.
men.
Like,
So
let's
please,
be honest. At the end of the day,
I'm going to play his video as well as
the
the stitches from different people.
Listen, some of y'all ladies
don't go away because at the end of the stitches, I will leave my own comment.
Everybody
So
can't have a
let's
perfect
slow
man
the
out
video.
here. It ain't even enough of us around. Like, let's be honest. So at the end of the day, we can go ahead and put that 50-50 conversation to rest because every woman ain't gonna get 80, 20, 100, 0, whatever y'all thinking is gonna be 60, 40. Some of y'all gonna have to go 50-50 and shit. Y'all might gotta go 60-40 on your end with the man just to be happy at the end of the day. Like, let's be realistic. Come on now. Somebody gonna have to settle, man. That's all I'm saying. All the straight men that's left in the world, a lot of them is in jail. A lot of them married. What do that leave left? Everybody can't have they cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have the best of the best. Sometimes you gotta just go for what you got and be happy and be grateful. Because you can have nothing at the end of the day and be miserable. Come on now. J. Cole said, love yours. I gotta take this in consideration.
Ladies, this single man is asking all single women to do just one thing. Let's see if he's asking for too much.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle.
And he's just saying what women have been told for years, and that is for us to settle. The truth is that women have settled in the past. Some of us are only here because our mothers settled for our fathers. Back in the days when women couldn't own bank accounts, when women couldn't own homes, and they didn't want women to work, and they weren't getting hired in the workforce, women were settling for men. But women don't have to do that anymore, and that's why they want to get back to the quote-unquote good old days. It's crazy to me that the thought never crossed his mind that a woman not choosing one of them is also an option, and for some women, a very good one. He really sat there with a straight face and say, pick a bad man, or you're going to be miserable, as if being with a bad man isn't also miserable. We understand that nobody's perfect, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for effort, and some of you can only come to the table with money, and some of the times, you don't even come with that. He's not telling you to settle, as if women have never been told to do so before. He's telling you to continue to settle, so some unqualified, unhealed, low-effort, bare minimum men can continue to get picked.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
So we have now reached the moment in the male loneliness epidemic where they are outwardly admitting, hey, I know I'm not shit. And I know I'm not capable of being more than anything other than shit. So you got to settle. The part they miss, though, is the part which my side of TikTok has been screaming, which is we're okay being single. You know, there's this quote of like, I have found peace and happiness with myself. And unless a man can raise that peace and happiness, why would I be with him? Why would I settle for a man that's going to do nothing but make me upset, stress me out day after day, when I am perfectly content being on my own? Like, I got hobbies, I've got friends, I've got pets. Does that mean, like, would I love a man? Oh, hey, Thumb. Would I love a man that's capable of not only self-love, but outward love, who's not scared to show that he loves his partner and is okay with opening up emotionally, and not only opening up emotionally when it's time for him to be angry, but like this man outwardly said, he just said it out of his mouth. There's not a lot of us that are actually good. Most of us know we're not good. So please settle. Please settle, because I'm so tired of being lonely. If you don't settle, I'm just going to keep being lonely. You got to settle. How much longer do you think we have to hold out for them to finally get the message that maybe they should at least try to be better than a piece of shit?
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
So these men agree. They agree that the only way that they would have access to a woman's life is if she settles for them. Because it is absolutely telling that these type of men are saying that some women are simply just going to have to be in the wrong relationship in order to be in a relationship at all. As if being single is not an option. As if a woman who knows what she deserves is asking for too much. But here's the thing. Women who have expectations and standards and stick to them are always going to be too much for men who do not want to put in the work to grow and heal and overall become a better human being. And again, men are smart. They know how they are treating you. They know how much effort they are putting into a relationship. And they are hoping that you do not have the self-love, self-confidence, self-worth, self-assurance to walk away. And now that we are also talking about this, women are also moving away from this idea that being single is bad. We are empowering each other to not settle. And there is absolutely no reason for why a woman should settle anyway, because at this point in time, we have access to all the resources that men do. We can also make our own money and get our own education, which are all forms of protection for us. The fact that there are men who need you to buy into this fear that being single is the worst case scenario for you to even consider choosing them should be enough proof for you to know how powerful it is to not settle.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here.
But weren't we being told to pick better men? So it goes from pick better men to now just settle with the men that are here. So he says that there's not even enough perfect men around to satisfy all of us. But he also said, and I quote, "It's beyond us." So let me get this right. It's beyond y'all to do better, to be better, but it's not beyond you to tell us that we need to lower our expectations. If you were a good and honorable man, this video would not have been directed at women. It would have been directed at men. Because the last time I checked, there was a male loneliness epidemic. Single women are fine. He basically said that either we can settle for a man or we can just be alone and miserable for the rest of our lives. I don't know why y'all think being single is bad. Being single is not the end of the world. If anything, it's people getting into relationships and marriages that actually need to be alone because they are not ready for a relationship, let alone marriage. And it's not even just this particular guy making videos like this. There are so many men making videos basically telling us, hey, y'all need to settle. And honestly, it makes y'all look desperate. Y'all are getting on here marketing toxic relationships to us, and we are done with that. Y'all are getting up here making videos directed towards women, trying to convince us to lower our standards. We've been taken advantage of. We've been hurt. We've been done wrong. We have been put through the ringer. And instead of y'all doing better, y'all told us to pick better. Not only did we pick better, we picked ourselves. And we're not worried about y'all no more. And now that's a problem with y'all too. So now y'all is stepping back and telling us, well, hey, actually, never mind. Don't pick better. Because y'all want to be picked and y'all are not worth our time.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here. It ain't even enough of us.
This is where you have us fucked up. I don't know if y'all are for real or you just like, you don't think before you say things, or like it doesn't have as much of an impact on you as it does for other people. So like you're only seeing it at the surface level of things. I don't know. Women had to settle for men before because men were an essential part of our survival. Because we were not allowed to be autonomous human beings. We were not allowed to have our own bank accounts. We were not allowed to have our own jobs. We were not expected to be anything else than a mother and a wife. We live in very, very different times now. A man is not a necessity. So if you're a woman who wants a relationship, this is how it works. This is a tier system for that. At the highest tier, you have the man that you want. You have a man who provides tangible things to your life, not just words, empty promises, and dick, actual things that improve your life. You pull your weight in the relationship. That's the first tier. If you want a relationship, that's the ideal, right? The second tier to a peaceful, happy life is to just be alone. Build your own business, become financially stable, have your own passions, have your own friend group, and have maybe like some dick laying around that you use every now and then, but just be alone. Third tier, and that one's all the way down here in hell, is to settle for a man who does not add to your life because you're afraid of being alone. The only women who do that are women who are traumatized. The only women who are going to want to settle for that are women who have not done the internal work on themselves and have not unprogrammed themselves from what they've been taught. Those are women who place their worth on whether or not they are deemed worthy by a man, which is ass fucking backwards. Because Like I've said so many times before, women don't go and watch men dance on poles. Women don't pay men money for their old socks, their spicy fans accounts, for naked pictures of themselves. Women have only been allowed to do things like own homes and have their own bank account and have been encouraged to have their own careers until very, very recently. And even so, we are far surpassing men when it comes to the rates that we're getting college degrees, our home ownerships. In spite of how much men have held us back throughout history, we are still surpassing them. Even though to say they had a head start would be the understatement of the century. It's hard for you guys to fathom being content with being alone because the real gender that needs the other gender is men. We are going to be...
Well, having watched the video as well as the stitches from different women, I was so happy the way women came out. For sure, women have stopped settling for less. And in the men reaction, someone talked about why threatening women that they will die lonely if they don't settle for you. For sure, women have stopped living a miserable life. Singleness is also a choice. Such ladies are happier than don't have to settle for anything just because they want to settle. No. This is a different era. People have changed. Women have changed. That's why it's also optional to be single. Anyway, guys, I would like